All right, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm really so excited to be here today. I've really looked forward to being here today for us to do the final, will I say the final, but then this is for me the best and the most anticipated edition of the digital workplace, African digital workplace webinar, where we essentially want to talk with entrepreneurs and people who are really trying to build their business since after COVID. Now, my name is Raymond Okpani, and I am the founder of Youthspark Pan Africa. Here at Youthspark Pan Africa is a global community of emerging leaders, career professionals, call it business leaders who are trying to navigate and build very sustainable businesses. And so every year we bring together people, bring thought leaders, bring coaches, bring mentors to come and sort of share their stories as to how they've been able to build incredible businesses so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And so we also have this annual event we do every year where we organize the Youthspark Pan-African Conference in the beautiful city of Kigali in Rwanda, where we take it a step further just to bring people together from different places to come and also learn and network at that level. And today is very special for me because we're bringing someone that is my own personal oga. You guys know, I don't know if you have your own oga. I have my own personal oga, and I'm really so proud to say he's my oga anytime, anywhere. And so we've been on this webinar where we started by talking about what the digital workplace is about, having to build businesses online. We've gotten someone who is very big into the global banking spaces to tell us how, not just to build business, but how do you also access payment from anywhere in the world from, as you're building your business. We've gotten someone who have come to talk about, remote work and how to use artificial intelligence to build those businesses. And lastly, we had someone who came here to also talk about building digital product. How do you, build digital product? How do you build borderless business from anywhere around the world? And today is for me really the whole summary of the whole thing, because anything you are not getting today, I don't know where else you want to get it, because here we're having someone today that is for me the king of strategy. I know him as the king of strategy. When people say that me, I'm a very strategic person, that I know strategy, I don't know anything. There's a place where I get these things from. And so today we are bringing my oga. My oga will be coming up here to talk to us, about the theme that we have had this year, which is really starting and growing successful business in a volatile global market. And I'll just give a quick background as to why we came to this topic, because I told you guys that before COVID, a lot of things were really traditional. People were just, doing things the way they were doing it before. And after 2020, a lot of things changed. Businesses, the way we live, the way we play, we do everything about life completely changed. And people started finding different ways to navigate and do the same thing they've been doing, or even find better ways of doing all those things. And it's been 4 years, and a lot of people who did not adapt to change, to find new ways of doing things, were crushed away by competition. But other people who even decided to change after COVID were also facing a lot of struggle as technology started evolving in a very, very unprecedented manner, with the advent of artificial intelligence and all the things that came with it. So most people who have not also fully evolved, or who are not evolving with these changing times, are also having a lot of problems. However, it doesn't matter the tool that you want to use if you don't have very practical strategy, very, very practical strategy that can be applied anytime, any day, anywhere in the world, and get it done. And so I'm not going to waste any further time. Like I said, my guy is here, so anything I know is here that is coming from. So I just have to step out and then allow my oga to just come do all the work. And so I'm going to just bring you. It's already late. I know that it's a lot of work. An honor for him to come here, and I'm really, 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 really so honored. I'm really so privileged. Thank you so much, sir. And so I'm going to be bringing up my oga. My guy is today we're having Ezekiel Solesi. Now, Ezekiel, one thing I like about him is that all the while when I tell people I don't like titles, because of him that I say I don't like titles. I've never seen him use title anywhere, any day. And so we're having I'm just going to read a bit of his profile. He has a long profile anyway, but I'm just going to read just a little bit of it, and then we will bring him up here immediately. So Ezekiel Solesi is a prolific author, insightful speaker, and a serial entrepreneur. And he is also a member of the prestigious Forbes Coaches Council. Guys, he is the co-founder of Nature Gift Product, Nature Gift Product Limited, a company that makes natural soaps from pawpaw, natural field papaya soap, co-founder of Smith's Animation Studio Limited, one of the top 2 animation companies in Nigeria, and the CEO of Lim Simple Company, an organization whose acronym is Life Investing, Money and Business Made Simple. The company has a mission to provide simplified technical, inspirational, and motivational information that will enable everyday people make deliberate improvements in their lives and businesses. Guys, these are things I've really seen he has done. This is not just about writing in the books, but he has done this. And today he coaches billionaires, people that are making money in the billionaires. I mean, if you are not making money in the billionaires, I don't know what you want to be doing. So ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome on stage my own personal boss, my oga, my coach, my mentor. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm very well, sir.
Okay, so I've never used this StreamYard before. So how does this work?
So yeah, so you're gonna there's a great darling. There's a place you're supposed to share. You see a setting that has present. So present, you can just present your slide.
No, don't worry. I can't see it. I'm using my iPad, but I don't need to present. I'm just going to talk straight up. So
All right.
I want to know if we're ready. So how is it? How am I going to be able to communicate with people on the program? How do I know? Can I see comments? Can I see?
Yes, you should be able to see comments. The admins will be projecting the comments.
Okay. I can see Noel Geek 3.0. So does that mean okay, great. Sorry, I'm I'm a bit new to this. I've not been able to put the boys to bed, so I have to come and hide here instead of staying in my study. Okay, so good evening, everyone. So is it okay if I know what you do, so that I can make it a lot more tailor-made to you specifically? So this is my children's art room. So there's a lot of. Is it possible for you to let me know what you do? How do I see? How do I see what people do? Okay, great. Because if I get 1 or 2 people and I know exactly what you do, I would most likely be able to ensure that a large chunk of my discussion is tailor-made to be able to help you guys specifically. But let me just while I wait for that, let me just kick off. Okay, so wisdom is in marketing. Okay, great. So when you say marketing, what does that mean? Do you run a marketing agency? Do you I mean, what exactly does it mean? Do you run a marketing agency? Are you a marketer who just markets stuff? And if that's the case, what are you predominantly marketing? Are you marketing real estate, medications? Sorry, someone has told me to stop using drugs, medications and the likes. Okay, good. Product and stakeholder manager. Okay, great. So I understand product manager, but I need to understand what stakeholder manager is. Sorry, I don't like to talk blanket talk. I just need to be sure of who I'm talking to, so that it can be very useful to you guys, right? So just with these 2 information that I have now, I'd like to, we can at least get something going, right? So the topic is being able to grow. Let me just confirm it again. I have it in my head, but I want to read it the exact way Raymond wrote it. Starting and growing. So what that means is, okay, good. Starting and growing in a volatile economy. So the first thing I want us to deal with is this notion of a volatile economy. So wisdom says is marketing for SaaS product, sales as a service, and service providers. Okay, beautiful, great. So the first thing I'd like us to challenge is this notion of a volatile economy, right? And I'm not saying that we bury our head in the sand and say that the volatile economy doesn't exist. Um, I'm saying that sometimes when people, make emphasis on something being a volatile economy, the underlying ideology is trying to program people's mind to lower their expectations. So I'll give you a perfect example. Everybody here lived through 2020, so you understand exactly what we're talking about. So COVID happened in 2020, and it was bad. It was bad. Most people, people died. All of these really bad things happened. But what started to then happen was that there was now sort of like a movement of some sort that people started to say, oh, you know what? It's the world is shut down. Don't as long as you're alive at the end of this year, it's a win, you've succeeded. And while all of that is true, what's also true is that people make more money in times of chaos than at times of peace, right? So the first thing you want to essentially agree with yourself is that everything exists. Everything exists at the same time, all the time, right? What does that mean? It means that it is a volatile economy and an amazing economy at the same time. What you experience is depending on what you focus on, right? So Speed Mill says, culinary school, okay, we offer catering services and own a pastry shop. Okay, beautiful, right? Noel Gig says, helping stakeholders manage expectations, resolving disputes between technical engineers and creative teams. Okay, beautiful. So the first thing is for you to understand that everything exists. Everything exists at the same time, all the time. So while it's a volatile economy, it's also an amazing economy. You see, because the world must always be at equilibrium, and the law, Newton's law of motion, what is said about energy is that energy is neither created or destroyed, can neither be created or destroyed, it just changes form. So when we talk about something being a terrible economy, all you need to do is to look halfway across the world or halfway across the situation, and you would see that it's a booming economy for somebody else. So while it seemed like, oh, it's a terrible economy for, in quote, the West, and because we identify with philosophies of the West, that's why we celebrate our Mother's Day, Mother's Sunday, everything in line with the West. On the other side of the world, in the East, they seem to be having a great time, right? India seems to have picked up pace. China seems to be gathering steam, on and off, but gathering steam nonetheless. A lot of countries seem like things are moving in the right direction. So what I have found is that everything exists, and then I have decided to lay very little emphasis on the, in quotes, bad side or the volatility of the economy. And I've decided to look at exactly what is happening, and then I realized, and for a lot of the people in our community, it's become a massive shift in mindset. I mean, we have 47 of our clients that do over $1 billion a year, and a good number of them, more than 30 of them, hit their first billionaire after 2020, after what we all say is it's a volatile, it's a bad economy. So while everybody else is thinking, oh, the economy is bad, lower your expectations, don't try to do big stuff, Dangote's valuation just hit $28 billion from about $12 to $14 billion less than 6 months ago, right? So the idea here is the first thing I need you to be able to get out of your mind is the idea that the economy is volatile, so I need to take extra precaution. No, this is not the time to take extra precaution. This is the time to get the hell out and figure out how to build your business the right way, right? And so, assuming that you've gotten that out of your mind, What's the other thing I think you need to focus on? Now, it's also not the time to waste money. So I always recommend that you, and I wish is Raymond, is there a way to sort of have like a discussion with people? Is it possible for people to unmute themselves and talk back? Because I want to, I mean, there's some of us here with quite interesting businesses, and I want to be able to engage. If it's not possible, it's okay, right? So, someone pneumatherapist, I think, sex and addiction therapist, mental health professionals, help maximize their full potential and maintaining good mental health and emotionally health and help people out of addiction as well. Good. So, the second thing you want to figure out is, who is my business focused on? While we can sell everything, we can market everything, and because we have limited budgets, we need to be able to find exactly who we should be focused on. And when we get those front end people, we can then market all the people. We can then market all the people at the back end, right? So how does that work? You know, most people might not be aware that Coca-Cola has close to 2,600 brands under them, right? But their biggest marketing budget goes to Coca-Cola itself. Their biggest marketing budget goes to Coca-Cola itself, right? Coca-Cola itself. Why? Because if they can get you into their system with Coca-Cola, from a digital marketing perspective, you are pixeled already, and now they can channel whatever else that they want to channel to you. They can channel Fanta, they can channel Schweppes, they can channel everything, plus Everwater and what have you. Now the problem is that a lot of businesses do the reverse. We're trying to sell everything at the front end, and then those who then come in, we now want to try and sort of specialize or give them something really cool at the back end. The problem is that you're going to waste a lot of money. It doesn't mean that you won't get results, but you're going to waste a lot of money, right? If I have 100,000 naira to put on marketing, say digital marketing, and you have 100,000 naira to put on marketing, say digital marketing also, and you are very clear as to who you're looking for, right? So you're looking for, let me look for one of us business now, see if I can find. So let's say you're a brand. Oh, what's this? Let's say you're a branding professional. You're looking for anybody who's interested in a graphics or branding expert who has a budget of say 300,000 naira to spend on such an endeavor, right? And then I, on the other hand, I'm just looking for everybody. Now, at the end of the campaign, 1 month, 2 months, both of us might find 100 people each. The problem is that I found 100 people across 5 different categories, but I didn't find enough in any specific category to be able to pull out one person who would buy. Sorry, it's been a long week for me, right? So I didn't find enough in any specific category to pull out somebody who would buy. But you, because you spent your 100,000 and looking for the same type of people, right? Now you have 100 leads. Maybe you can close 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, right? So you would get a better result than I would, even though both of us had the same budget. So the question now is, who should you be talking to, right? So you run a sex and therapy addict, sex and addiction therapist. Who should you be talking to that is profitable as a business, right? Who should you be focused on trying to get, right? And I'll give you an instance. Again, I had an engagement with somebody who was a sex therapist. This was a couple of years ago. This was maybe 7 years ago. And so at that time, I don't know, I mean, I'm not in that industry, so I don't know what the acceptability of this the situations are now. But back then, it's not the kind of, because it's one thing for you to be able to solve a problem. It's another thing for you to be going out there to solve a problem that your client is admitting is a problem. So this lady came to me, and she was recommended by one of my coaching clients, and She's very good. Very, very good. All the qualifications intact. And she's not getting clients, right? She's not getting clients for her program. She's not getting clients for her consulting, and even if she gets, it gets them very sparingly. So I told her at the time, I said that, one of the reasons why it was difficult for her to get clients, and I don't know that might be the case for you, but maybe unlikely because, the world is completely different from then, was that she was solving a problem that people did not want to admit was a problem. So let's say, you had, she puts up a program, like she said, on, like a seminar on, trying to attract people who have dysfunctional sex lives, like maybe you're not enjoying your sex life, blah, 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 blah. And she just put it out there, nobody registered. And I'm like, the reason why nobody's going to register is that if you put that post online, and I say, Omo, I need to attend this class. So everybody who knows me, who social media will send that comment to, or at least, this thing where you make a comment and then all your friends see a post and, what they see is your comment. I'm going to have a loss of social acceptance by just commenting on that post. So the people who you get to work with, they're going to keep you at the best kept secret. They're not going to tell anybody about you. And the people who in the open, nobody wants to sort of identify with you. So I then asked her. I said, so she was like, well, what should she do? I said, if somebody had a dysfunctional sex life or had a problem that you could solve, right? What would be the symptoms of those problems? And she said, oh, they could have a low self-esteem. They could have this. I said, okay, good. Pick one of those symptoms, especially one that is socially acceptable, as a problem, and try to solve that problem. So organize a seminar to help people improve their confidence, right? Not confidence in the bedroom. Organize the program to help people just improve their competence generally, right? And then as you do that program, offer an additional one-on-one session to them afterwards. And after that, you can then catch those people to whom that, because of course, confidence issue can be all across everywhere, right? But you will now find the ones that have your type of problem that you can then help solve. And you have to keep doing that while, on the other hand, doing a lot of education in the market to ensure that the topic of, sex and maybe addiction and all that becomes an acceptable topic for people, right? It's just like the mental health, in quotes, revolution that is happening now, right? What the best part of what's happening now is that mental health is becoming a conversation that people can accept. That people, it's been transformed from a taboo to a problem people can accept that they have, right? Because I don't care what your business does until the person who you're trying to serve accepts that that is a problem that they have. You do not have a business. That is the truth, right? Until the person who you're trying to serve accepts. It's like our friend, Wisdom, who runs marketing, right? The problem with marketing is that a lot of people, especially small business people, do not accept that they have a marketing problem. They believe that they have a sales problem. And so when you try to provide a marketing solution to them, they want it to convert immediately into sales. And marketing is not sales, right? Marketing is not. If marketing is done right, it could in time lead to great sales, but marketing is not sales. Marketing is everything you do to get your ideal customer to know you, like you, and trust you. Those three things, that's when those three things are achieved, the job of marketing is done. Sales is how the organization converts those three things into cash flow. And a lot of marketing people have put themselves in trouble by going to meet somebody and say, oh, you know what, I would help you organize your marketing and you will get $100 million in sales. Nah, Don't go and promise. Don't go and promise anybody. Marketing is long term. Marketing is long term. Marketing can help generate those leads. Marketing can help get people to know, like, trust you. The responsibility for sales is still on the team. The team still has to do a lot of work to sell. So sometimes you do all the marketing front end, and then there's nobody to help them at the back end to pick up the pace and do the selling and do the conversion and all that kind of stuff. And because you've given them the hope that you're the one that you're the Jesus Christ that come and solve their life's problem, they're not angry with you. They say, this marketing we paid money for, we didn't see anything. They cannot see, they cannot see anything, right? They will get a lot of likes, they'll get a lot of comments, they get a lot of people who know, like, trust them, but they have to ensure that they turn that into money, right? So what does that mean as a marketing expert? It means that, number one, first, I have to engage in helping people understand the difference between marketing and sales. While at the other hand, I'm looking for people. So marketing works best for organizations who have solved their basic cash flow problem and they're looking to scale into next level stuff, right? Then those ones are the ones that marketing works best for, right? Don't go and meet a hair salon or what do they call them? Instagram person that wants to sell 100 million or 100,000 next week. And I tell the person that, don't worry, I will do marketing for you, you make sales. It's not like it doesn't work, but that's not the purpose of marketing. The purpose of marketing is to get the right eyeballs in front of your product, get them to interact with your content enough to know you, like you, and trust you, right? After all of that, then the organization would then take all those leads generated and work towards converting them into cash flow, right? But if you now go and do Jesus Christ, where you can solve all the problem, you don't go work, right? So like I said, the first thing is to understand that everything exists all at once, every time. The good time, the bad time. It's like the world, right? While it is night where I am now, it is day somewhere else, right? And that's the truth. It's 8:29 p.m. here. It's if you minus 6 hours, it's about 2 p.m. somewhere in the US, right? If you add 8 hours to this, it's about 7 a.m. somewhere in Singapore. Do you understand? So, and the thing is, the world is here, the sun is here, the moon is here. Everything exists every time all at once. The difference is what you're going to focus on, right? The second I said is you're going to save a lot of money focusing your energy on who you want to do business with, right? Not trying to reach everybody. Nobody's business is focused on reaching everybody. I wish I could really talk to people now so that I can ask them and gauge their understanding of who they think their market is. But I'm guessing that that's not possible. This is the first time I'm using StreamYard. I've never really heard of them. Right. So let's say culinary school, right? So, someone is coming up. Okay, good. What does that mean? What does someone is coming up mean? Okay, so you run a culinary school, right? So let me understand. So if you run a culinary school, you offer catering services, and you own a pastry shop. A culinary school, is that not supposed to be like a school that teaches people how to cook? So and you didn't write, you train people how to cook. Okay, Noel is here. So where's Noel? Sorry, I can't. Okay, good. Okay, good evening.
Good evening, Mr.
Yeah,
Ezekiel.
good. So good. So tell us a little bit about your business exactly. Let me see how we can help. Because I like to be able to help people specifically. I don't like to speak generally. So to the best of my knowledge, you are a product manager, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and a
so
stakeholder manager.
Okay,
So,
please
so I
explain that
think
stakeholder part.
all right. So I've worked with a lot of founders and tech
Okay.
entrepreneurs, and something I've learned is that they actually find it quite difficult to break down their ideas for the technical team in the ways they can
Okay.
implement those ideas. So what I do is, I bring whatever brilliant idea they have, I break them into an actionable steps that technical team, marketing teams, creative teams, and every other person in
Understand.
the company can implement. And then if they need to communicate from technical conversation back to the parts or a business conversation that the stakeholder needs to understand or what it means for them, I help in that level of translation for them. So I'm always making decisions and trade-offs based on the business goal rather than just looking at it from the technical aspect. Then I also balance that ground for the technical team and the business owners. So that's what I do.
So if I get you right, um, the founders usually would speak a different language from the technical team, right? So you
Correct.
sort of interpret it, right? The founder say go.
Exactly.
The founder say I want to go somewhere, and then you turn to the technical team and you speak to them in ones and zeros.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So I'm assuming that you run this as your business. Do you run it as a business or you work with somebody?
I first have been an engineer to a technical product manager, and at the
Okay.
moment, I'm just trying to do it more for other founders out there.
Okay. Okay, great. So how much do you charge for a service like this?
At the moment, I've not actually had any particular client. I just like went into the business recently, and I'm just trying to gain leads and find out maybe how to exactly put out the communication for the founders themselves. Yeah.
Okay, great. So what that means now is, are there other people that do what you do? Do you know what the market value of what you're doing is? Like, how much would they typically charge? Do you understand? If I'm a founder and I come to you now and say, okay, Noel, I want you to work with me. Send me a
Uh,
proposal as to what it would cost. How do you deal with that?
So this is how we manage that on a service level for myself. I'm literally charging you somewhere between maybe $1,000 to $2,000 maybe to work with you monthly in order to manage your product. And this means we are going to go through designing the system architecture, hiring technical engineers, hiring also what is it called? Other creative members, people you need for them
Yeah.
to build that particular products. So that
Okay.
means I need to be available in order to do that for you.
So
So on those service level, you can charge up to that amount to be able to
so
offer
you
that
so you
service.
charge about $1,000 a month on the
Yes,
average,
yeah,
and you would
and
work
so
for how long? How long would you work for them on the average?
I that also depends. At least most products, I think, if you talk to first-time founders, most products might need to be built between 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, depending on the MVP and the complication of that
Okay.
particular product. So yeah.
Beautiful.
So at
So
least
what
that
what
will cover like for 3 months.
so what that tells me now is, while you might be able to get somebody who just has an idea to pay you if they have the money, the majority of the people that you'll be able to work with are people who have gotten some form of angel investments, seed investments of some sort, right?
Um,
So
yes,
I mean, you can get some other. I mean, some people are coming into the business because I mean, not everybody who has an idea has $1,000 to give to somebody every single month for 12 months to be able to do that, right? Now, if you
exactly.
then, for me, to be able to break into this sector, the first things first is: do you live in Lagos? Where do you live?
I live at Ajao Estate, close to the airport.
Good. So, are you integrated into the technology community? So, where are the? I know there's a tech hub somewhere around the Jao State, Vibranium Hub. Are they still operational?
I don't think I go out physically a lot. So basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you might need to try. I know you guys like to hide behind the system and all that, but you don't forget that the moment you shifted into this place, you moved away from the technical angle, you moved into the business angle. And business is human to human connection. So it's either people are seeing you or they are seeing your content, but they have to see something. So on one hand, I would recommend that you find a way to call yourself something that people can understand. Maybe call yourself an interpreter, and then you put out content every month, every other week, where you take a hypothetical case of somebody who wants to create this, and a hypothetical case of this kind of engineering team, and then you create a scenario where you can. Because I had a friend who's a graphics designer, right? He's in Abuja, and he's done pretty well. He's the one that designed the first logo for Lim Simple. And I remember in 2010, 2011, I told him, I said, look, why not take companies that exist and, just put it out there. If you're going to redesign Airpiece logo, what would it look like? And then he redesigned the logo, and then he went, did a video through all the process, blah, 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 and just puts it out there. That's what he does. He puts it out there, puts it out there, and he gets big projects from there. Sometimes the organization calls him and say, you know what? We like that thing that you did. Let's have a conversation. So it's either you put out content like that consistently and target it towards those places, but you also want to make sure that everywhere founders are gathering, you are there. Do you understand? So, for example, now, do you know that Jamie Dimon, the CEO of the biggest bank in the world, is in Nigeria?
Yes. For the JP Morgan Bank.
Yeah. So he's in Abuja. He's in Lagos. He's meeting with the top tech CEOs in the country. Right? Why are you not in that room? You should have snuck yourself into the room somehow. Do you understand? Because you want to make sure that you are inside the rooms of the people who understand your service and can pay for your service, right? You're putting out content on one hand. On the other hand, you're showing up to certain places, right? It doesn't mean that you have. Sometimes it might just mean going out once, twice a month, depending on exactly how things run. But if you live in a Jawa estate, there's a $100 million technology hub not far from you. I think it's called Vibranium Valley. It's a partnership between some US firm and the former Abiola's son. They created that Vibranium Valley. Now I don't know what the situation of it is now, but again, you want to go there. It's close to your house. There is whatever is happening in Yaba and CCOP. I don't know how active that is now, but for a very long time, CCOP was like the ground zero for technology in the country, right? So you want to go to those places because your job is dependent on the quality of people who are aware that okay, American Corner is in the same premises with Vibranium
Exactly.
Valley.
Yeah. I think I know about that.
So you want to go to those places. You want to make sure that those people know you, and you might get to the Vibranium Valley and realize that things are not moving as it is. You say, you know what, I want to I want to offer you guys a free session every month where tech founders can come and I can help them. I can share with them how to communicate their ideas to a technical team. Do you understand? And because when I started out, one of the major challenges I had was that nobody was going to pay for trainings. And I said, okay, if nobody's going to pay for trainings, let me go and look for the people that I know are in a situation where they are looking for the kind of thing that I'm looking for. So I went to a microfinance bank and I said, guys, are people owing you money? They said, people are owing us a lot of money. I said, okay, if people are owing you a lot of money, could it be that one of the reasons why they have not paid you is because they don't have the money to pay? They don't have enough sales. They don't have enough, But what if you organized and I did free marketing and sales strategy trainings for them every month, right? Maybe it could help them. They could make money, they could pay you, everybody will be fine. They say, okay, no, I wasn't charging them any money. They give me the opportunity. In fact, not only they give me the opportunity to do that session, they gave me the opportunity to also take a day in a month and do something that they called experts in residence. So I'm sitting in there, and then somebody comes, I talk to the person for 5 minutes, and then I see a lot of people. That small move is worth over $1 billion a year to me today. Because for the first time, I'm in a room with people because anybody who's gotten to a point where they've collected money from a bank, they are not novice. They've started something, they built something, the bank has given them money. So, but the things that I can do for them are not things that they value. They don't see the connection between knowledge and their ability to earn more money in their business. But somebody if somebody where they owe, so make a contract price. You come now, you say you should come and learn something. You come and learn now, because if you don't come to learn, you will be proving to the person that you don't even value knowledge in the first place. So the person is going to think of you as somebody who is not even useful. So they all came, and then when they sat down, they said, listen that this guy is saying, he might work. One of them took one of the ideas, went back, tried it on her business, and it worked. The next time she called me, she was paying me $1 million. Right? My business with that client on a yearly basis now is worth 25 million. Right? The client has built a business worth over $1 billion. 22.5 million, not 25 million. Right? But the point here is that if I didn't do that, chances are that I would never have met a person like that. I would never have met those types of people. So Vibranium Valley, Silicon Yaba, whatever it is, go to all those places, right? Organize meetings just like this and say, what are what is the language interpretation manual that can be created that can help founders who can have an idea, and there's a technical guy here. If I say go, what does it sound like in the technical space? Right? Because here's the thing. You might think that teaching them the thing would make them want to do it themselves. No, teaching them the thing would make them realize that they cannot do it themselves. And then they will hand you your responsibility to do it for them. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But that you need
Yeah,
to
it does.
ensure. Yeah, because people, you need to ensure that you put yourself in front of the right people. And then, on the other hand, because now this business, your business now requires you to work sort of one-on-one with these founders and interface, right? Right?
Exactly.
Now, that brings
Yeah,
you to a
it
very,
does.
very, very serious downside. Because if it requires you personally, then there's a problem. The problem would be you can only work with so many clients. 5 clients, 10 clients, depending on what your capacity is. So the question now is, if this is going to be a business for you, then you have to also, on one hand, have a group of people that want to get into the space that you are teaching, that you are learning, that you are grooming, so that down the road you can have a community, or you can have an organization of product managers. Not just a product manager, not just be a product manager, not just be a stakeholder management person, but you can have a community of people like that. So that at the end of the day, your success does not bring about your downfall. Because there are a lot of businesses, a lot of people who get into businesses, they don't figure out how that business can provide, how they can apply leverage to the business. Right? Leverage meaning that, for example, if by yourself you can only handle 10 clients a year, what that means is your money is capped at a certain amount. Even if you charge $10,000 for each of these 10 clients, you only have $100,000 you can make per month or whatever it is. But if you figure out a way to say, you know what, my knowledge, I can build a team of other people, and I can build a team where somebody can handle 2 clients, and only the hardest things get up to me, right? Now you have a true business that can scale. But at least now, don't be worried about that now. You need to get your first 10, first 20, first 30 clients, and to do that, you need to market online, content-wise, provide content that can show people how that you understand both languages very well, and then show up to the right places. Go to Vibranium Valley. I can guarantee you that there's a very high possibility that if you walk up to them and you offered to do stakeholder management sessions for them monthly, and you wouldn't charge them for it, I can guarantee you that they will jump on it, except if they already have somebody who's doing it, right? So if they jump on it, you're fine, right? You can do that. You can look for where are all the tech communities, where are the places where a lot of tech founders are. If you start that one there, can you do something in CC Hub? Can you do something? Can you go outside the country? I know that in places like Abia State, there's a brewing tech community in that place. I know some places in the East, there's a brewing tech community in those places. I don't know what's happening in Abuja, but there could be a brewing tech community there. You want to go to all those places. But having said all of that to Noel, I wanted to now see how can I tie that into all the other things that we're doing, right? So what I've said to Noel now, and I think is applicable to everybody else, is number one, aside from the fact that I said everything exists all the time at the same time, I've said, look, you need to determine what type of people do you want to deal with and what's the communication strategy for them. Now, Noel doesn't like to go out, but we have said that if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to hit the streets. There's no money in an office anywhere. Money is on the street. If you want to know, I have business owners that do. How many of us here, all the while you have been watching Tony Numelu, how many of us here have ever seen a content of Tony Numelu sitting at the back of a desk in an office? Have you ever seen it, Noah? Because that's not where money is. Right? That's not where money is. There's no money behind your desk in your office. There's no money, except if you are a technical person, right? And you don't run a business. Somebody has handed you a job, you must do it. If that is not the case, there is no money inside your office, inside that place you're sitting down, inside this place. All the money that exists is outside, whether outside digitally, meaning that you are having a conversation with people digitally and people are knowing you, or outside in the real world, where you're going out. So depending on what your business is, whether you run a coronary school, where's the money is outside. People must know what you do. Speed Mills already said that they train people how to cook. Beautiful. So the question now is, I wish I could talk to Speed Mills. I'd like to talk to Speed Mills before I run out. I'd like to run out in 10 minutes. So, but let me just think through a hypothetical case for Speed Mills and say, okay, Speed Mills, you have a you provide food for people, like you said. I think, let me just be sure, you provide food for people. So the question is, if you provide food for people, who are the people that you are also training? And I think that you might be able to democratize such a training for everyday people, because sometimes you might think that, it's just is people that want to do catering as a business. No, right? While that is true, but why not also teach very simple things, right? And get people who, there are a lot of ladies, I don't know if you're aware, but there are a lot of ladies who are old now and they do not understand how to cook. And we're getting there. We're getting there significantly, right? The more exposed we are as a country, the less likely it is that domestic chores like cooking and all that would be in the home training package. It's no longer in the home training package now, right? So you want to be able to get people to sort of learn things, and you want to, because sometimes culinary schools try to focus just on people that want to start culinary businesses. And while that is true and while that is great, it's also important for you to just focus also on just people that want to learn specific meals and the likes, because it could turn out to become lead generation for you, right? I have a friend, while I haven't worked with a culinary school before, I have a client who runs he manufactures shoes, right? And he came up with this very brilliant strategy that has really, really helped him. And what was it? He realized he started doing trainings, shoemaking trainings. So people would come, they would come for the shoemaking training. It was about a month training. And in the first 3 weeks, he would train them on shoemaking and all the mechanics and every single thing, blah, blah. But in the last week, he would then focus them on the business of it. And the entire focus of that business of it is to say, you know what, after all this beautiful thing that after all this beautiful manufacturing, but the real business is the marketing, is the branding, is this, is the that, So one of the best things we would advise you to do is to have an organization handle manufacturing for you while you handle marketing, sales, and branding, And at the end of the day, he ends up becoming the manufacturing partners of these people who he trains. So now he's making a lot of money on the back end because he's now manufacturing. So when they come and they say, you know what, we've seen how good you are, we've seen everything, you've trained us, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you handle the manufacturing? It's okay, good. For you also to handle the manufacturing, you have to commit to X amount of products a month, X amount in value a month, and the like. So now all those guys come in, they're worth almost 2-3 million a month to him because they have to commit to 2-3 million a month, and they can sell 2 to 3 million a month worth of products on the front end. Of course, sell it for significantly more, 10-20 million. It's in their brand, it's in everything. But he has a manufacturing contract with them. He's doing good. They are doing good. Everybody's happy, right? So there could be a sense in which you could train somebody and end up saying, look, you know what? For all your soups, let's just handle it. So for example, in my house now, I think for 8 years running, all our soups has been handled by a particular company, because there's no time. My wife runs the second largest animation studio in the country. I run a very, very, very thriving consulting business. Nobody is going to come home and is wondering, what are we going to eat? And I'm very fortunate. Food is not, I'm not interested in food. I eat once a day, really. I eat once a day because I forget to eat. I wake up in the morning, I get to work, I forget to eat. I remember in the evening I eat. So everybody else, eats 3 times a day in my house. But I'm the kind of person that I eat not to die, and I'm not very big on taste of food. I guess so. But we got a really, really nice company who's handling all those things for us. So. But I don't know if that. So anybody wants to ask any specific questions for now? Any specific questions? Any
Okay.
questions?
Yeah, I think I would like to ask a question. I mean, I've
Okay,
seen,
great.
yeah, so particularly for me, I mean, I've been privileged to stay very close to learn from how you've done, not just for yourself, but you have also helped a lot of people build from absolutely nothing, or even in their tens or hundreds, and then, even now surpassing the millions. But in this community are like entrepreneurs who, are also looking forward to building to that particular level. By the way, Noel, he will be joining us in Rwanda by next month.
Oh wow, that's nice.
He will be joining us in Rwanda by next month just to be part of that program. But I wanted to ask a question just before you rush out. I know that the time is already fast spent. You want to tell us about, let's say 3 or 4 things you think that people should start looking out for, particularly now that it looks like artificial intelligence and all these whole evolution things that are coming up now. I know that after COVID happened, you did a lot of trainings, just to tell people what to look out for. And
Yeah.
those things, as much as it sounds like, oh, when you're telling somebody hard truth and they are like, no, what are you saying? For instance, when you said, that people should, when you started, you're like, people should just accept that, see, anything that a lot of things are happening, whether it's bad or not, it's just our ability to change it into what we really, really want. And you made a lot of bold statements after COVID happened that were very, 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 very uncomfortable to anyone who who is already comfortable in where they are staying. And over the last 4 years, some of the things that you said have been very, 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 very strong. Also, particularly narrowing down to Nigeria, when even with the whole in the political space, he also made very striking statements, and he was like, "What are you saying?" But now we are now in the age where it's now artificial intelligence. Even when people who are doing traditional businesses are looking forward to building and not being crushed by competition. What should people start looking out for, knowing that whether tools or no tools, there are strategies. People will need the human touch.
Yeah.
I saw someone write something online. The person said that, I think he was saying that, that artificial intelligence computer is nothing without the human brain or something like that. But what should we start looking out for? What kind of strategies? What are the things we should start doing to reposition
So,
ourselves? Yeah.
so the first things first is, if you're going to survive the AI revolution, you have to be in the top 1% of whatever it is that you do. Because what's going to happen is that artificial intelligence is going to wipe out 95% of every industry that it touches. For example, the CEO of NVIDIA is saying now that, prior to now, they tell everybody, get your children to learn coding. He's saying children don't need to learn coding anymore because the work that they are doing is going to ensure that coding is no longer a requirement, for programming. And now you see somebody can just put a prompt and say, create me a website that does X, Y, and Z, and website is created. You understand? However, if you are in the top 1%, right, this AI and these systems would still need your input to verify or to check or to figure out whether these people are doing the right things or not, right? So the only insulation you would have is, and let me explain what I mean by top 1%. So top 1% isn't just a competence game, right? It's competence and brand equity. You can be very good at what you do, but are you known to be very good at what you do? Do you understand? So if you are not known to be very good at what you do, you need to invest heavily in being known to be very good at what you do. Right? Because the person who is known to be very good at what they do will receive more money than the person who is very good at what they do. Right? So it's important that you're good at what you do, but it's also important that, so that's the first thing. The first thing is AI is going to wipe out 95% of the industries it touches. Now, we don't know how much industries it will touch, but we do know that artificial intelligence would have pretty much the same effect that the printing press had in the 16th, 17th century, and the same effect that the internet had in the early 2000s, meaning that it would completely transform the way we live. And, even more so, because now Tesla just released the Optimus robots now. So before you know now, all of us no go need house help for house now. Robots go they run them. You don't need a driver now. Robocar will be running it. You don't need a. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Be great at what you do. Be in the top 1%. That's your only insulation against this matter. The second thing that you want to pay attention to is you have to be rich very quickly. You have to be rich very quickly, because a lot of the opportunities that are going to come up in the next couple of years are going to require people that have spare cash, spare money, or people who have relationship with which they can access money. So you need money. If you don't have money, problem is going to happen. So what does that mean? It means that you have to grow fast, grow very fast, find a way, figure out your business, grow. I think some people dropped a few questions. So for me, always remember that you eat so that you don't. Develop also. Always remember to eat. There's a new name for what I'm doing now. Not be intermittent fasting. They call them now. Those of us who like to the job. So, intermittent fasting. Noel says, what should be the most important thing to do when you come up with ideas? When is it the right time to build out that idea? The right time to build an idea is when you come up with it. So let me tell you the funny thing about ideas. Ideas come to us in frequencies. Just note. Ideas, there is no idea that you are thinking of. The reason why you're thinking about that idea is because that idea is already in the atmosphere. There's no brain that can come up with any idea. What happens is that brains are like radio devices. They are tuned and then they receive the ideas. So if you receive an idea, you have to execute fast. Why? Because there's somebody. I'll give you a perfect example. When I was in the university, a guy comes up to me one day. It was a Saturday, and then he was trying to discuss with me about an idea he had. He wanted to create a cinema in school. And I told him, I said, ideas come in frequencies. What does that mean? If you have an idea, it means the idea is around. Somebody else is going to get that idea. It's going to be a race to execution. So execute very fast. He said, okay. We left. I spoke to nobody about it. He said he spoke to nobody about it. 2 weeks down the road, we met again. I said, how far with that stuff? Have you started working on it? So he's still working on it. He's still figuring. While both of us were talking, we turned to the wall and we just laughed. We saw all this printed flyer on the wall, Cinema 57, opening this Saturday. And we just laughed. I said, this is what I'm telling you, that whenever an idea comes to you, that idea is around. If somebody else is tuned into that frequency, and being tuned to that frequency is that they must be in some form of an altered state, right? If they're tuned to that frequency, they will catch the idea. If they execute it, they move. How many of us here, I'm sure most of us here must have had an idea before that we did nothing about. And then we saw something that looked exactly like it. Right? Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time. So idea a dime a dozen. If you have an idea you think is good enough, act on it. But act on it if it meets these 4 criteria. Number 1, that idea, does it serve a huge expanding market or is it a dying market? 23 years ago, 24 years ago, it made sense to open a cyber cafe. There are more people online now, but does it make sense to open a cyber cafe now? No, it's a dying business. The market size of cyber cafe is dying, not expanding. Secondly, only do it if it's in its time. Sometimes when you come into early to an industry and you have to do a lot of education, many times businesses who do a lot of education don't make it out at the end of the day because they spend all their money educating people and they don't have money when the people get educated. So if you have money, you can do it. But if you don't have a lot of money, you chill, you wait, you put an eye on the industry, much like what Adenuga did with Glow. Third, is there any point of uniqueness? Can you develop that idea in such a way that people would move beyond wanting the product category to wanting you specifically? And then 4, can you think about the way to be able to apply leverage? Like I was talking to Noah lately, a few minutes ago, that look, while the business is a beautiful business, the only challenge it has is that it has to think about leverage early enough so it can start training people so that at the end of the day, in my business, it's also very hard. So, but in the last 1 week, we've had strategy sessions with top level clients from different parts of the world that I was not involved in those meetings. I have people on my team that are doing that now, which is beautiful, you know. So now it doesn't mean I have to work less, because I don't, but it only means that as an organization we can even do more now. We can do significantly more than we used to do. So I think that's about that.
Okay, just before you run, there was something you just said, and I know that you are very, very big on that. What I want to ask now is the last question. It's something that you are very, very big on, and that is relationship building. I mean, you are one person that, you know, you've taught me so much about this, about building relationship. And one of the striking things that you said to me at the early stage was, you know, how relationship will pay more in the long term more than competence. And you've also watched me evolve, being with us to some countries, Ghana, Rwanda, and all the things that we have done. And I want you to just talk a little bit about community building, networking. Yeah.
Business is really about relationship, but the front. So for you to be able to build relationship well, you have to focus on one principle, and that's the principle that controls my entire life. Focus on being needed, not liked. If somebody likes you, they can hate you. If they need you, they don't have to like you. And if you focus on being needed, it means that you are focusing on being valuable, because you're only needed if you're valuable, right? Right? So that's the first thing. Because the problem I have with the way people teach networking is that they say things like, you know what, anybody that is not useful in your life, cut them out. That's bullshit. Because that ideology focuses on you being a parasite. Why are you looking for people that you have that is not useful in your life? What about people that are you useful to the person? They have to be useful now. You know, so you're thinking, this is going to add to my life. No. Be valuable and find people at the highest level that you can be valuable to, you can add to their lives, right? So that's one of the things you want to do. You want to be valuable. If you're valuable, you know, and realistically, if you build relationships long term, and then you have to put relationships above money. There are a lot of businesses that you would do at the early stages that you wouldn't make as much money from, but if it's a good client, if you see someone that is a rising star in the business, become a part of their story, so that in 20, 30 years from now, because have you noticed that the richest people you know tend to have known each other for up to 20 years? Sometimes you see a picture. Yeah, there's Babangida, there's Obasanjo, there's all of them. They were young, in 20-something. They're there in one picture. How is it that all these guys in the same one picture, all of them have run this country? Do you understand? Why does it feels like they're doing this thing turn by turn? It's relationships. Relationships always pays more dividends down the line than competence would ever pay. So, but the only way to maintain a relationship long term is that you have to be valuable long term to this person, or you have to build your ability to be valuable. Become successful. Because if you have a mentor, become successful. Now who succeed mentor the claim? If you first the mentor, he go torment you. Do you understand? He go torment. If you succeed, so one of the reasons why you want to go and succeed is that so that your mentors can keep giving you access to the places that they have, to the people that they have. That's what it means to be useful, to be valuable to a mentor, become successful, right? So focus on being needed. Don't focus on being liked. I don't want people to like me. Of course, I don't want to be, I'm not a bad person, so probably a few people like me. But I think what's more important for me than whether people like me or not is whether I'm useful, right? Because once you're useful, no, you'll be fine. So the number one rule for me in relationship building is focus on being needed, not liked. You know, improve yourself to whatever it is that is required to be able to help people achieve the next. Because the people you are looking for, they are not looking for you. They don't want you in their lives. If you must enter into their circle, you're the one that will force your way in.
Wow.
It's true. Dangote doesn't want me in his life because my net worth now, maybe 1 billion or something. His net worth $28 billion. Do you know that the moment you step into Dangote's life, to accommodate you into his life, he would lose some of his net worth. Let me give you a funny story. Just so that you see how it works. Dangote is $14-15 billion net worth. So all of a sudden, he starts to move around with Otedola. Otedola at that time, in a billionaire, lost a lot of his money, blah, 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 got into a couple of things, But as he starts to move over, Dangote's net worth drops significantly, down to about $10 to $12 billion. Otedola's net worth, according to Forbes, was not even a billionaire. According to Ventures Africa, was maybe slightly a billionaire thereabout. But Otedola is leveling up now. Have you noticed that Otedola is leveling up now? And as it's leveling up now, Dangote's net worth has shot up again. Otedola has proven himself worthy of that relationship. He's running First Bank now. He's running the power sector. He's making moves. He's making badass moves now. Right? The people that you want to enter into their network, they don't want you, because once you enter, you will destroy you will reduce their lives. However, if they find something in you that is very valuable, they would come in and get that perspective, because it will shoot them up bigger later. So the only way to get into Dangote's network now is for me to show him, by some way or another, that I'm very valuable to the next phase of his life. So I have to go and be prepared at the next level of what he's thinking about. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So I don't. Some of you here, I don't want you in my life. Right? I don't want you in my life, because it's a danger to my life. Before I just know, I don't shake your hand now. 2 seconds, we don't exchange text message. I don't do story media. So if you must enter my life, you work hard, because I have to realize that this guy is very useful to where I'm going to. So some people say, my uncle, he doesn't want to help me. I call him, he will not answer. The last time he answered your test, 200 million left his account. He would. And he has identified that, this guy, if I go answer this guy test, bad luck, bad belly.
Okay. So next month we are going to Rwanda. Guys, this is for everyone. I mean, we'll be having more of this in Kigali. In 2019, Ezekiel joined us in Kigali, and we've been looking forward to getting him to join us. Maybe next year, I don't know. We should have him to come and do like a refresher. A lot has changed since 2019, you guys know, so we would like to have you to come. But how was it like for you? I mean, casting your mind back, we'll just use it as a closing statement from you.
No. If you are here, better go to Kigali. If you are here, if you have not paid. It's a beautiful experience. Trust me. I mean, it's a beautiful city. But I think that more than the city, it's really the experience of just being outside the country and learning. Let me tell you one funny secret. So for now, over the last 2-3 years, and continue from this year, I don't like to spend New Year Eve in Nigeria. I need to try and spend it abroad, because I realized that every time I spend it abroad, I did make better money for the year. So that's why it's important to go to Kigali. If you go Kigali now, while they are doing all their session in the night, be planning for next year. Because you see, all those demons with the Kigali, they never know what's in the shop for your own demon don't know what's in the shop for you. By the time you plan outside, they don't know. They don't, because as per demon now, they keep malice with each other. So they need to communicate. Before you plan your plan, before you don't come by, you don't execute the guy. Because one went there Kigali, so that's what I told my wife that time. I said, we could go Qatar, we could go plan this 2024. Because if you plan for Qatar, all those village people in Qatar, no go fit tell village people in Nigeria. So by the time we come back, we don't execute. No, we don't move.
2025 don't enter.
Exactly, we don't shock all of them. So I'm telling you, it sounds funny, but I'm telling you, it works. I told one guy, he came to me this year, his son in our community. He said the whole of last year they made 50 million or something like that. And I always told them, I said that if you want to plan your life, plan it in an environment that looks like the future you're looking for. So he couldn't go abroad, but you know what he did at the beginning of the year? At the end of next year, to the beginning of this year, he checked himself into the Lagos Marriott Hotel. And that's where he wrote all his plans and strategies and everything. You know, I tell them, see, demon where they your house, different from demon where they inside Marriott. Because some demons are not allowed inside that place. They are not touch enough. He came to me and said, from January, we had this meeting in April. Their business had done 100 million every month. It's the same Hebrew. He just planned in a different environment. He said because when he finished and he left, he said to himself, I need to be able to come to this place every month. I just come and sleep here. It's not his human being that's sleeping here. That desire transformed his business. And so for some of us, leave all the thing that Raymond is doing in Kigali. The reason why you have to go is, aside from all the things that you would learn and all the great people that you would bring up and then you'll be able to learn, it's being in a completely different environment and planning for next year in a different environment. It'll transform your life, your thinking in ways that you cannot even begin to fathom. I can guarantee you that one. Right? I can guarantee you that one.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I mean, we spent way more than 1 hour here. Thank you so much for your time. I know we've gotten a lot of value. A lot of people are laughing where you are talking about how demons don't get to communicate. Man, that's
true.
a very deep revelation.
Nobody they cost malice. If they cost
It's
malice,
a different revelation. But then, thank you so much for your time today. Looking forward to having a great time in Kigali. I know that it's not been a very free time for you because of what you are also doing next month. I think it's in the next one month already. It's like from 18th to 19th.
Exactly 1 month.
We're having the Strategy Growth Con. Guys, we're having this event 18th to 19th of November at Eco Hotel. Last year, I flew back to Nigeria. Now, I did not just fly back to Nigeria last year. I paid extra $440 just to make it to that event. After I bought my flight ticket, got to the airport, drama happened. I insisted I must go. So if you're in Nigeria, it's 18th to 19th. You want to send us a DM or something, and maybe we can get you a discount or something. Our guy is here. Our guy knows that we are students, yeah. But trust me, that event is having all the who is who, all the big heads in the business space. Even if you don't have passport, you cannot make it to Rwanda, not a problem. You have a place you can go. You don't need to pay dollars. In Nigeria, in Rwanda, you pay dollars. But here, you pay Naira. Your Naira is safe in Nigeria, right? Where you get to attend a strategy growth convention. It's like the biggest meeting happening in Nigeria next month, and you want to be in that meeting. We'll even share more about that in our communities just to get people that are interested to go there if you are not able to do other big things this year. But guys, do not forsake the place of meetings this ending of the year. You must attend all kinds of meetings, not just free meetings. So paid events, that's where you meet important people and very people that help your life. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you so very much. And thank you so much.
How do I leave? Okay, I can leave now, right?
Yes, you can leave, sir. All right, guys. So it's been a very interesting experience. I believe you guys got value, but one more thing, we just have to admin just drop the ads for the Rwandan events, and then we will know. Hi.
Hi everyone, my name is Ubio Obu. I'm from Nigeria and I'm currently at the Youthspark Pan-African Conference happening in Kigali, Rwanda. What has the Youthspark Pan-African Conference taught me? Oh my God, it has been an exciting opportunity learning about the people of Rwanda. I've learned about the volunteerism trait of the Rwandans. I've also learned about the communal community service, the umuganda that happens here in Rwanda. And I can tell you very honestly that if you want to be at the Youthspark African Conference for next year, you should definitely get your ticket because it's going to be an amazing, enlightening opportunity. I can't wait to see some of you next year. Bye. Hi everyone, my name is Ubio Obu. I'm from Nigeria and I'm currently at the Youthspark Pan-African Conference happening in Kigali, Rwanda. What has the Youthspark Pan-African Conference taught me? Oh my God, it has been an exciting opportunity learning about the people of Rwanda. I've learned about the volunteerism trait of the Rwandans. I've also learned about the communal community service, the umuganda that happens here in Rwanda. And I can tell you very honestly that if you want to be at the Youthspark African Conference for next year, you should definitely get your ticket because it's going to be an amazing, enlightening opportunity. I can't wait to see some of you next year. Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who has been here till this moment. And that's like the short ad for the events that will be happening next month in Kigali. Earlier today, we've been getting notifications and messages from people who want to be part of that. We may be able to also provide further discounts. And one of the things that will be very unique about this year's event is that it's likely going to be happening in 2 different locations in Kigali. And you want to take up that. And then Youthspark will also be facilitating free business registration to everyone who is attending the Youthspark event this year. Guy, you will have an opportunity to meet with at least 2 ministers to ask them questions, have a very exclusive interactive session. We're doing a lot of work to ensure you get a lot of value at the event. And just for $1,200, you will be able to have an all-inclusive. All-inclusive simply means it covers your flight ticket return from your home country to Kigali and back to your country, and all the experience you'll be having from the 25th to 30th of November 2024, guys. Send us a DM and you will get all the details on how you want to be part of this meeting. Guys, like Coach Ezekiel said earlier, you want to immerse yourself in an environment that allows you to think, to plan, and to position yourself for the future you have always desired for yourself. And with that, that comes to the end of today's broadcast on the workplace, African digital workplace, with my coach, Ezekiel Solesi. And until we come your way again with other speakers to keep talking and sharing their experiences on this, have a great time, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.